Ruth, in your presentation, you talked about virtue and sustainability. Would you like to say something about that?
Yeah, sure. One of the things that has struck me from the conference has been, as we know, the vast scale of the problem that we face, and Bill McKibben kind of went through that in a great explanation of it all. And there's been a debate going on as to really who is responsible for this mess we're in and who can we look to get us out of it. And some people have been saying, well, it's government, we've got to look to policy, and others have been saying it's individuals, and actually we need a groundswell and we need a ground movement, and we have to have the two together. And what my talk was based around was that we need good institutions and virtuous actors, and the two have to complement each other. So I wanted to unpack a little bit about what is a virtuous actor, what makes a virtuous actor, what are some of the virtues that we need to take in ourselves. So I looked at things such as humility, really for me the starting place, knowing who we are, what our place is, recognising that we don't have all the answers, and so we need to exercise caution in things we do and not just rush in and think that we're going to be able to solve everything. I looked at frugality, not something that we hear about much these days, but where the virtue of frugality can speak into our culture of high consumption and how we can bring some of that into our lives. I looked at the virtue of justice and saw how justice is that virtue that pushes us out from just concentrating on our individual everyday actions. It pushes us out to be concerned for what's happening around the world, to be concerned for the plight of millions of other people, to be concerned for the plight of our land. And so to be getting involved in government and government policy and advocacy and campaigning and all of that. And then I looked at the overriding virtue of love, which isn't a nice cosy sentiment, it's not just something you feel. The opposite of love isn't hate, it's apathy, literally apathe, without feeling. So love is that deep connection that we have when we know something, when we know someone, and it's out of that deep connection, out of that love, that we will then act. So fundamentally, for me, what we've been looking at here isn't about duties and responsibilities and I have to do that and I should do that and I mustn't do this. It's about what is a loving way to act. How can I be a frugal person? How can I be generous? How can I be hopeful?
So you see living sustainably as a very positive thing?
I do. Now that's not to say it won't have sacrifice, because it will do. But I think living sustainably is something that brings a lot of benefits as well, as we try to move away from the highly consumptive society that we live in and all of the problems that we know that has brought us. And there are, yes, immense benefits to living differently.
Thank you very much.